Welcome to Meet the Biz. Okay, as you know, I love saying that, and I love being here because this is family. And today, today is like, energy day, loving day. I mean, this man is really, uh, what I was thinking of, I walk into the energy around him and his family. His family is beautiful, physically, spiritually, from the heart. And it just, I'm around them and I feel like, how sometimes you hear about Hollywood and it's like, oh no, they're not what they this man and his family is so stunning and gorgeous. It gives me, beyond Hollywood, it gives me hope for this world because there's so much love in it. I'm getting a little schmaltzy here, but it's so true. His credits include Snakes on a Plane, Flex and Shanice, One on One, Girlfriends, Grey's Anatomy. I could go on and on and on. We have the one, the only Mr. Flex Alexander.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hello,
I,
everyone.
I love it. I love it. And look at all those albums behind you.
Yes, my lovely wife right here. This is a lot of her work. We have that. We have this here. Uh, that's her album there from Billboard over here from the Pocahontas soundtrack up there in the corner right there.
Right.
On the Usher album, she worked on that. She's a busybody.
I love it. I love it. A joy and a light for this world. I mean,
Yes, she is.
you all are. And I was going to ask, this came to my mind. I know beforehand you said, I asked you if you sang,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing you do.
No.
In,
I love to sing. I love to sing at home, shower. And the funny thing is, I sing more around the house than my wife does, and she'll have her moments where she'll just belt out. She'll she's working on whatever range or hitting a note, but she doesn't sing consistently around the house. I
right.
sing consistently. I love everything. I love funk, soul. I mean, I can go from the Doobie Brothers, Boz Scaggs, to all the way to Tina Marie, to Earth, Wind and Fire. Like, I love all of that stuff because I grew up in a house filled with music. I grew up in New York, in the Bronx. My mom played music. You knew it was cleaning day when the music was playing.
Well, and then, coming to your house, you're behind the music. You're
Yes,
playing the,
yes, yes, and that led to my love for music. I was a hip hop dancer for many years, and I was always around music, so I love music. I started DJing, and I love music. I just do it. You can listen to a song, and it literally will take you to that time and place. I could listen to the Spinners and Rubber Band Man, and that takes me back to the South Bronx in the projects. My grandmother, that's the first record I ever owned, was the 45. You kids don't know anything about 45s, but the 45, you do, the 45 of Rubber Band Man. And
ooh,
like it changed. It changed. My mom bought my first rap record, which was Jimmy Spicer's Super Rhyme. So yeah.
my God. Well, I know you mentioned dancing, and of course,
Yes.
I read up all about you. And when did you start dancing?
I started well, I in the Bronx, when hip hop was birthed in the late 70s, I remember going to a lot of the parks, and we call them jams. Like, you go to they say, yo, they're jamming in the park. So you go to the jam and you see guys out there popping, and you have the DJ out there with the turntables. They literally will take the cord and plug it into the lamppost to get the electricity, get the power. And I would see these guys, and I'm like, what are they doing? And I just started to do it. I loved it, doing the pop locking, break dancing.
Right.
I loved it. And I ended up my first ever like paid gig was junior high school. Mrs. Leibowitz, her son's bar mitzvah. She paid me $50, me and three other guys, and we came and we did a breakdancing bit at her son's bar mitzvah. I'll never forget that. I got $50, and I was like, "This is the life for me, right here."
Oh my God. You know,
Yes.
even when you're talking here, I mean, you get the love from you. It seems
Mhm.
like you were born from love, and
Yes.
you found the love. I mean, again, I mean, when I ask you what is your biggest joy in life, what comes to your mind?
My biggest joy in life is my family. Because coming up, uh, that we just had a loving family in my home. My mom, my grandmother, my dad was absent, but my mother and my grandmother, they filled so much of that with my mom would fix plates for everyone in the building.
Mm.
My grandmother would take in all the kids when we would play stickball or whatever. She'd come in and she'd make hamburgers. We all go to my house. Um, and the family would come over for gatherings. You know, my house was kind of like the mecca for everything, you know, holidays. So I kind of followed that pattern growing up. And then obviously when having my own family, um, they were literally the same, you know, they did the same things. They loved music. They were always about family. So we got together, it was seamless. And we just have fun, man. So my biggest joy is my family and being able to, whether I'm having a hard day, whether the day is great, whatever it is, knowing that no matter what, they're there. If no one else is there, they're there. And that for me is my greatest joy.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, family is so important, and it definitely, like I mentioned many times in the first five
Mhm.
minutes, how much it shows and shines. Um, Back to the dancing. I mean,
Mm.
you did the dancing, but then you became a choreographer.
Yeah, I started dancing and the love for dance kept me going. I started, you know, I had friends in the business that we had a dance crew together. A good friend of mine, Stretch, who actually gave me the name Flex. um, him, myself, about five other guys. We had a dance group called Mop Tops because we all had dreads. We had these fades and we had dreads. Mine stuck straight up. So Mop Top was the acronym for motivated on precision towards outstanding performance. And we became one of the premier groups in hip hop. And we started to break off. It would be two of us. We would go work on this video, and two others would go work on another video. And we choreographed this one, or we choreographed that. And that just became a love. And I started to really get entrenched in the hip hop world and work with people like Queen Latifah and
Mm.
Salt and Pepper. Like I became one of their main choreographers and dancers for years, and they're still close to this day. They're like my sisters. Um, and I loved it. I taught a dance class in Manhattan at Broadway Dance Center. And I just loved dance. And when I was younger, I actually took modern jazz when I was younger. But my brothers were like, man, you need to stop taking that, man. You know, they were macho and you know, but I'm glad I took it
Yeah.
because it really opened me up to dance and it opened me up to the sensitivity of dance. It opened me up to just another world. And I just had an appreciation for, you know, those for modern jazz, for ballet dancers, for I would see, you know, shows at Lincoln Center and it just opened me up. So I was able to infuse that into hip hop,
Mm.
put the two, marry the two together and just create something amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it did that bring you, what brought you to acting?
Uh, uh, well, I spent years dancing, and um, I was, I was, I was performing at the Uptown Comedy Club, and and there was producer
Mm.
and a casting director there. So I finished performing. I get off stage. They come up to me. Hey, oh my God, you're great. We're casting for this movie called Juice, which now is a classic, which Tupac Shakur's first
Yeah.
movie. Um, we'd like you to read for it. So I read for the lead role of Q. Uh, Ended up not getting it, but they liked me so much. They just gave me a little role in there with Queen Latifah, and me already knowing Latifah, it was easy. So that kind of gave me the bug. I was like, oh man, this is great. So that started to supersede that, in my stand-up comedy started to supersede the dancing. So I had to kind of back away from the dancing. And I remember calling Salt from Salt and Pepper and saying, oh my gosh, I'm crying. I'm like, Salt, my shows. She said, listen, don't worry about it. She said, you're gonna be huge. She was like, just go do it. We're always here for you, but you've outgrown us. It's okay. And just her with that confidence giving me that, I was able to just, I would have gone anyway, but it just helped that she was supportive. All of them were.
Yeah.
And I just went forward, and things just started to snowball into another. I was doing stand up, and then the club I was at, Uptown Comedy Club,
Right.
they were doing a television show. So they would get in the cast ready and say, hey, you guys still have to audition and da da da. So audition, got that. And they literally shot the television show right out of Harlem on 125th Street.
Ooh.
And then a buddy of mine, a comedian actor named Dougie Doug, he ended up getting a deal with ABC Disney. So they did a big showcase at City College, all the comedians, and out of all the comedians, they asked, who is that kid? There was a role in the show to play his friend, which we actually were good friends. So I got the material early. I meet with him, practice, rehearse. We had the same managers, so they were working hard to make it happen, working hard. So I auditioned in New York. They flew me to California.
Mm.
I was only supposed to be here a few days. Ended up being here 3 weeks. And you have to do producer sessions, then studio, then network, then all of them together. Then they decided they wanted to screen test me. So the screen test is where they take a scene or a couple of scenes, and they film you doing the screen test, you and whoever else they're looking at for the role. I do the screen test, finish, and not even thinking about it. So my agent has me meeting just around town. I'm new out here, so I'm just taking meetings. So I'm at a meeting at CBS.
Mm.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting. I'm like, man, this person's like 20 minutes late. I'm like, I don't like that. So I'm sitting there like, man, it's kind of rude. So the receptionist says, Flex. I'm like, yeah, so you have a call. I'm like, wow. So I get on the phone, and my agent's like, hey, how's it going there? How's the meeting? I said, well, I'm still waiting. And, I said, I don't know what's going on. It's kind of rude. They're late. He said, well, they're probably not coming out because I just want to let you know you got the show on ABC. I was like, what? And I remember leaving that office and getting a cab all the way back to the Valley and thinking of all of the shows I watched growing up on ABC,
Yeah.
Happy Days, The Vern and Shirley, all of those, The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, all those shows, and just remembering where it took me, and always wanting to be in that box. I remember telling my mom, watching Eddie Murphy's Delirious at 13,
Ah.
Mom, I'm gonna do that. She's like, oh, okay, baby, okay. And I just remember that feeling. I'll never forget that feeling. And then I went on to do the show. I would shoot that show during
Right.
the week, finish Friday, fly on a red eye to New York Saturday, get there Saturday morning, drive straight to the Uptown Comedy Club, shoot our television show all Saturday, all Sunday, get on a red eye Sunday night, come back to LA Monday, and go straight to set and shoot where I live. But I was in my 20s, so it was
It's
I had
in
a
your blood.
yeah, I had a lot of energy. So so that was literally the start and the transition into acting from
Right.
dancing.
Now, and in between there, that's when you started the stand-up.
Mm. I was still doing stand-up. I actually started stand-up right, or the dancing and it's the stand-up was simultaneous. I started stand-up in '89. Buddy of mine who I danced with, Khalif, used to say, man, because I could see somebody, just do an impression of them or whatever quickly. And he was like, man, you need to get on stage. And I was like, ah. He's like, I'm telling you. And then he dared me. And I'm like, okay, don't do that. Cause I'll take a dare.
Right.
So he dared me and I went on stage and that's how it started. That's
Yeah.
how it started in '89. Yeah.
Now, what makes you laugh? What brings you laughter?
Um, Gosh, I know it's probably so bad, but I like those shows like Ridiculousness. I like people falling, running into stuff. Little kids doing funny stuff. I like those things. I love Adam Sandler movies, Judd Apatow, Robert Townsend. Um, I just love I love comedy when it comes from truth
Yeah.
because it's the best. That's the best comedy. When it comes from a truthful place, it's the funniest.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm going to throw out a name, and
Mhm.
what comes to your mind when I say snakes on a plane?
Sam Jackson, of course.
Rick? Rick!
You know all those security scenarios we ran? I'm smack in the middle of one we didn't think of.
Can anybody hear me? Shh. Did you guys hear that?
Sam Jackson, man, it's crazy because he and I we were friends. I met him at this event, and we connected talking about golf because we both love golf.
Yeah.
And then I remember auditioning for the movie. I never told him I was going to audition. I never said anything. I auditioned, and I remember leaving the audition, and I felt I did fairly well. And uh, the director came out of the room, and he said, "Hey, great read." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." In this town, you just take it and you throw it to the side.
Yeah.
And rest in peace to him because that director passed away. But
Mhm.
he saw something. So I said, okay, well, I did my part. Then I finally mentioned it to Sam. I said, hey, Sam, I said, so let you know I read for Snake. I said, the director like me. They're calling, just they're interested in asking for quotes and I'm not sure if it's between myself and someone else, but he said, okay, man, all right, all right. I'm not gonna say what he said, but
Yeah.
his favorite word, his favorite. So
I
he's like,
bought the
okay.
book.
Yeah, yeah. He
That
said, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So the next, I ended up getting it. And we go to shoot it in Vancouver, Canada in the summer, which was beautiful. It didn't get dark until 10:30 p.m.
Oh yeah.
And I had a great time watching him. He made it look so easy, so easy. I just watched him, and as we were shooting that movie, he was preparing for another movie called Black Snake Moan, where he played this blues like guitarist. He was literally in the trailer learning that while we're doing this movie, and I'm like, what? How is he doing that? And it's it really made me look at acting even differently. I said, okay, this is more than just about reading lines. You got to be prepared no matter what. And whether it's doing another project while you're doing a project, like your mind always has to be going. So I credit him with just, the work ethic, seeing that and making sure that I'm prepared every time I'm on set when I come to work with my my counterparts.
Yeah. Um, I love these stories. It's like, you throw out a rope
Oh,
and then
oh,
go
I've got so many stories.
Listen, we have so many students here and other performers and actors and
Mhm.
singers. And I know a few of them have questions. We have one here today. We have Ranjani Reyes is here today.
Hey!
Hey, hi.
I'm the actress and comedian. We are like command connection. So we got this.
Right on, right on.
Okay. Who's who's inspired you with your confident personality, with your jokes?
Who's inspired me? Um, I, you know what? I would have to say my mom. My mom is funny. My mom has always been funny, and I think that's where I get my funny from. And believe it or not, I haven't always been confident. There's a certain, I don't know about you guys as artists and actors and musicians and everything, there's sometimes a tad bit of insecurity that goes into it, and I think that's the thing that pushes us. I know that's the thing that pushes me.
Mhm.
If I feel insecure, I go harder. Like when I do stand up, I'm always nervous before I get on stage, because you just never know how it's going to go. I don't take it for granted. So she's inspired me because my mom has just always been fearless, and just I've just seen how she's handled life in spite of the bad stuff. She's been funny, and I just try to take that and expound on it.
And the last question, any advice for the future stand-up comedians?
Uh, be fearless.
Okay.
Be fearless. Be truthful, because the best comedy is being truthful. That's the funniest. Like we can all go out and say, "Oh, hey, I saw a cat, and the cat didn't have any hair," and da da da. But
Yeah.
if you talk about what you go through, but you put a twist to it, people appreciate that. I saw this guy on TikTok. He might be in his 70s, comedian in
Oh
his
yeah.
70s, and he talks about his life, aging, talks about going to college late, and I think he's so funny because he's giving his truth, and people just take to him. So I would say be fearless and be truthful.
That's what I need to do for my stand-up comedian career.
Yes, yes, you do. Be truthful. Don't be afraid. Talk about, whatever goes on with you, the things in your life. People will be pleasantly surprised and they'll laugh with you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ranjani.
for that. Thank you for
Anytime.
that.
You were saying fearlessness.
Mhm.
Um, have you ever gone through fear that
Yes.
changed
Yeah.
you?
Yes. I've gone through a lot. In my personal life, I've gone through a lot, losing family members, the substance abuse, and seeing different things in my life, going through homelessness, living in a shelter. Uh, those things I think prepared me for now,
Yeah.
for me to go out there for like, hey man, I have nothing to lose. Like I've already seen the worst of it. So I have nothing to lose. So yeah, I've definitely seen that.
Well, and to hear that too, sometimes we all go through that time where we think, what am I doing? Why am I here? And or this scares me or this or that, and you feel like it's over. But seeing people like you, and then not just you, but just going people, this is part of life.
Mhm.
We go through the fear. We just don't let it stop us.
Yeah, I believe that I believe that the majority of artists out there have inner fears and insecurities. And if they said they didn't, I would challenge them. But it's something, it's just a different mechanism of different place we go. And
Yeah.
we push through. But uh, I think once you get past the fear of, failure or rejection,
Yeah.
because that was my thing always, like, oh man, I don't want to be rejected. And that stems from personal things, my dad not being there and saying, hey, why didn't you accept me? And that stuff kind of bleeds over into your life. But you just find a way to push past it.
You seem so open.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I think that's the best way to persevere, and the best way to work through anything is just being open about it. Like when we did our reality show, we talked about things that we went through during the financial crash, and we decided to talk about it because we wanted to show that, hey, we're in this business, but we're regular people. We just have a different job. So
Yeah.
we've had struggles just like the next person has had struggles.
Now, how is it doing a reality show? I mean, that is where you really put it out there.
As long as we have our family, friends, and fans, there's nothing we can't accomplish.
Turn it up. Aloha. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, our show was cool because it was our family. I was excited to see our kids excited. But you have to watch it because they do want to manufacture things, drama, and it was just certain things that I was not willing to do. And I said, if I saw that, I was done. But the overall goal was to reach people and to let them know that, hey, you can make it through. I mean, we had someone reach out to my wife and say that it was a couple and they were going through, I mean, severe financial struggles.
Yeah.
And had kids. And the wife reached out to my wife and just said, hey, I just want to let you know, my husband and I were planning a joint suicide, and we saw your show, and we saw that if you guys can make it and you're in the public eye, then we can make it. And we've never heard from them again. I think one other time, but just that alone, if that show was just for those people, then we did our job.
You sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did. That's wow. That's a whole movie in itself. A whole
Yeah.
Beyond movie. It's yeah. Let me see who we have. We have a few others. Oh, Brian Pierce. Brian Pierce. I don't know you as well, Brian, but here's Brian Pierce. Let's see what we have today. You have a question today, Brian?
Yeah. What's your favorite TV show of the 80s? What would you go back and we do remake of from the 80s TV shows? What would it be?
Oh my goodness. That's a tough one because there were some good shows. Oh boy. Well, it was a 70s show, but it was really popular later in the 80s. Good Times. Facts of Life.
Oh
yeah, and probably Happy Days.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who would you play in Happy Days?
Oh man, I would probably, the Fonz was cool, but I always rooted for Richie. I always rooted for Richie. Like Fonz was cool, but I would probably be Richie Cunningham.
Love that. I love that. Thank you, Brian. Pleasure.
Thank you, Brian. Good to meet you, Brian.
I'm going to throw out another name.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
What comes to your mind on that?
Bad movie that I did. Well, listen, just the movie could have been better. I did my best to be the best Michael I could be. And that was the thing that people saw, like, hey, you went to that place, but to just budget, to makeup, it was just, I'm 6'4". When I met with them, I said, you guys know I'm 6'4", right? Like, how am I gonna do this? I didn't know that I was gonna get the job. I just had a meeting. That
Yeah.
was it. And I
Yeah.
left. I didn't read anything. I just left. And I get the call, hey, they want you to do it. I'm like, are you serious? So I did it and challenged myself.
Well,
Listen,
and you got a nomination, the NAA.
yeah, the NAACP. Yeah, it was. I mean, listen, I, like so many others, I'm a huge Michael fan. I got to meet him once. I think my wife was around him a couple of times. I got to meet him once. He was just such an amazing human being. It's sad because he should be here. It's just sad that his kindness to this world. I just think his spirit was too much for this world. I really do. And I hate the way they try to trash his legacy. But for me, out of my heart, I did that movie because I am and will always be a fan of his, always.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I grew up, of course, loving him. And that was the one, if I had to have one concert that I missed that I would love to see it with.
Me too.
You
Me
didn't
too.
see
I
him either?
never seen him live.
Oh,
Never seen him live. And never. I got to go. The guys I used to dance with, I was telling you about, they ended up choreographing and being in the Remember the Time video. Those are all my friends.
oh.
So I got to go to set and just say hi, but it was amazing. I wish I would have seen that live, that energy, what he gave, it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm bringing back to music in my mind, and I mentioned you singing, and then we went to the shower and this and that.
Mhm.
But I know your family, of course. Shanice is like, I listen to her, and I just the her voice just gives me, can I say, an
Yeah.
orgasm in my ears.
It's amazing.
And it's just like, just the whole body. She fills my
Mhm.
whole body up. And that being said, your son, your daughter, oh my God, you've got talent. And I just saw the new video of your daughters.
Yeah, she's dropping her single in 2 days.
2 days, people, 2 days.
February 9th, she's dropping. It'll be all platforms. I I think they were just they had no choice but to have the bug too. So, but I'm proud of them, just for creating their own space and who they are, and my daughter is super motivational and keeps it positive, and I love that about her. Our son, he loves music, and he wants to create something that hasn't been created. He thinks so deeply, and it's crazy because he reminds me of Michael, and I mean, really, in a sense, the way he perceives things, and the way that he just, it's like, man, it has to be great. I got to do it different. Like, and I'm like, son, just do it. He was like, no, it has to be right. So I'm like, okay, he's made so much music, but we'll never hear it because all that music to him, he's like, yeah, that wasn't right. And I was in a different place at that time. So I'm like, okay, excuse me.
Well, maybe later he'll come out with the unreleased album.
Yes, maybe later. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Now, we talked about that glorious wife of yours. When I say the name Shanice, what comes to your mind?
Purity, just angelic, giving, caring, like, just an individual that, I mean, just, you don't experience a lot of people like her, and the way you see her, you've been around it, that's how
Okay.
she is all the time. Just giving, loving, tries to help everyone at the same time. Sometimes I got to tell her, hey, little self-care, gotta chill.
Right.
Come on, you know. Um,
How do you, I'm going to jump into the self-care. How do
yeah,
you do self-care for yourself?
I
Because you're on the go constantly.
yeah, other than golf, which is my escape, I love golf. It's either meditation or just time to myself.
Yeah.
I'm that type of person. Sometimes I just have to just pull back a little bit and re defrag and reprogram, and then because you have to do that. You can't just continue to go because you'll burn out.
Yeah.
And you have to find balance with both of us traveling. Like literally, she's getting ready, she's packing, she's leaving tomorrow morning, like 4:30 in the morning, to perform and then turn around and come back to be here for our daughter's release party for her single.
Yeah.
So it's finding that balance, and I don't know. I can't. Well, I know I was gonna say I don't know how we did it. I know how we did it, but we had a village helping, but it's just like we turn around and we look, and our kids are 22 and soon to be 20, and it's like, man, we got through all of that stuff and still going and still able to go and do what we love and perform and just have fun and like you see, come to parties and and that's our release, man. That's our love language. It's like, hey, everybody come over. We got food, we got music, and we just have a good time. Nothing pretentious, nothing. I mean, we have Bobby Brown and his wife here, and they knew that it was a place they could come and just relax, and even just come and relax. It's just be yourself,
It's
and just have fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a love fest. I mean, when I first walked into that, and the blessing of having Penny as a dear friend,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
and just
She's
walking
special.
in and experiencing again your whole family. I love walking in and meeting Penny's brother
Yeah, oh,
and
yeah, Uncle Spirit.
talking Uncle Spirit,
Yes.
talking about spirituality. I was like
Yeah.
so sucked in, and everybody is again their own individual, but all about love. And it's like, oh, I wish the world was more like this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
Um, we have another person here. I see Tracy Turner. Tracy Turner, you have a question, huh, my dear?
Hi. How
Hi.
you doing? You guys
Hi.
are too cute. And how the hell did you get on Grey's Anatomy? Because I want to be on Grey's Anatomy so bad.
Say that again.
I want to be on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, you would be on Grey's Anatomy. Oh, wow.
Oh
Listen,
my God.
I auditioned for that. The casting director who cast that show, for years I had been auditioning for her, and I never booked anything. And I'm like, and I said, she doesn't like me. She hate. And so I think I went in there when I ended up getting it. I went in there that day, and I didn't care anymore. I just went in. Yeah, hey, how you guys doing? I read and I left. And then they called. It's like, oh yeah, they want you. And I'm like, what? So but it was awesome doing the show. Like, I mean, Ellen Pompey, everyone on there were amazing. I mean, it was, and I got to do a crossover episode from Grey's Anatomy and Station 19. So yeah, so that was awesome.
And I like the show, and I also want to go Line of Order for you.
Yeah.
Line of Order for you. Because I love those two shows. And I just wish I knew how to get there, because I've been acting for 25 years now, and I just don't know how to get from A to B to C. I'm on TikTok. I don't know what the hell I'm doing on it, but I'm on TikTok, and I'm just like, I crave. I just want to cheat the world that just because we're different, we're all the same. We all need love. We all need accepting. African American people have been to hell.
Yeah.
I've been to hell. I've been to slavery. I can't. That hurt my heart.
Well,
Mm.
how
And I want to love
that? I mean, Tracy brings up something. How do you, when you feel like, oh my God, how can I get the job, or how can I move forward in my life? What advice would you give somebody about
Well,
narcissism?
I've been, I've been as my thought was always, I want to be a working actor, consistently working actor, and the other stuff comes with it. I never thought about movie star. I don't know. I just always said I want to be a consistently
I
working
don't either.
actor, and there's times where things just don't happen. I've gone through spells where I don't work 4 6 months. Like I've gone through some dark spells. But I think the love for it is what keeps me going. Set aside the political side, but the love for it is what keeps me going. And I think when I find that and I kind of zone into that, that's when I attract those things. And like I said, when I went in and read for this casting director, who's a huge casting director, and my agent said, listen, if she keeps calling you, that means she sees something. You just have to find the right thing. So when I went that day, I was like, I'm not going to go in with the mindset of, oh my gosh, she's really huge. And I just went in and I was free. I said, pay attention to the material, do it. And I left it. And for me, that is the best thing, to not really put the energy into the why not, but the I am part of it, that I am an actor. I am doing this. I can do this. And yeah, you may have something different with you, but that's okay. It doesn't mean you can't do the job just as well. I remember on the Facts of Life, Blair had a cousin on the show, and I forget the actress's name.
Jerry, my dear friend Jerry.
Yes, and let me tell you something. She was the first, and I love what she said. She said, "We're not handicapped, we're handy-capable,"
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
he was the first handy-capable person I saw on television, and I said
Me too.
it blew my mind. So there is possibility. There is. You look at Growing Pains. You look at it's so many shows that have showcased, amazing work from handy capable people. So don't think that it can't be done. If there are shows you like and you want to, you find out, search on the internet, you can find out the casting office. You can send a self-tape and you can just barrage them. Keep going and say, listen, I'm going to be on your show and you're going to find a role for me. And I know it will happen.
Thank you. And to Tracy, thank you for those questions.
Thank you, Tracy. Those are great questions. Thank you.
I tell you, next time there's a party, I'm going to bring Jerry, because you guys would love each other.
Yeah.
From Facts of Life.
Oh, please. Oh my God. Listen, I'm telling you, I was such a TV buffer. Facts of Life, Different Strokes, that whole TV block, was so amazing. And she just really, that was the first time that I'd ever seen it. And it was like, wow, why isn't there more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still breaking down those doors. We've been trying to get Jerry. I'm sort of going off here for a second.
No, it's okay.
Because for 6 or 7 years, and it's crazy. Maybe I'm being too open here, but not on this episode. We've been trying to get her a star on the Walk of Fame because of who she is and what she means. And and she was not just Facts of Life, but Deadwood,
Yes.
And the stand-up that she did, of course, that I'm sure you could relate to as well. We could all do that. But with Norman Lear's backing, with this, that, and the other, 7 years still hasn't got. They gave it to Godzilla. But I know.
Well, that whole process now is just knowing now that you can pay for it has totally just deflated my whole thought of, star on the Walk of Fame and what that means. And it's not to take anything away from anybody, but I just, I'm just, it's a body of work. You know, it's a body of work. And when you go back, you know, to the from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s up, like, and you saw the body of work, then you understood it. But I just don't understand some people getting stars before others that have been working 30, 40 years,
Yeah.
just because someone can pay for it. I don't get
And, you
it.
know, I was friends with Corey Allen. He was like the grandfather I never met. And I actually asked him years ago when he was still here. I said,
Mhm.
"Do you want to get a star?" And I researched it, and it was back then it was 15,000 to get it.
Wow.
A 15, yeah. And he said, "No, I don't want a star." And I was like, "Really? Okay." And then when Jerry said it, well, we tried to get it went all the way up to 50,000. And in 1 year, it went from then 55,000 to 75,000. It's 75,000 to get a star now.
Yes, it is insane.
Anyway, I went off
Yeah,
track there, but
that's all right. I see
it's,
someone else raising their hand.
oh, yes. Who do you see?
What is her name? I can't see. Alex
Alex
Hart?
Hart?
Yes.
Alex Hart. Hey,
Hello.
Hi.
I I wanted to ask you what TV projects have you have you have you done before?
Have I done? Starting in the early 90s. I've done Sister Sister with Tia and Tamari. I did a show called Where I Live. I did a show called Homeboys in Outer Space. I did a show with Jim Belushi, Stephen Bosco produced, called Total Security. CSI Miami, Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, my own show, One on One. I've done a lot of television.
What is one of your shows? I mean, you mentioned One on One.
Yeah.
What about that? How did that come about?
One on One was a show that I created, and I pitched. We shot the pilot, and it didn't get picked up. A year passed. My wife and I were driving back from Santa Barbara from it was our anniversary, which is coming up again, actually. We were driving back, and my manager called and said, "Hey, you know, Paramount wants to do the show." And I was like, "What?" That never happened, where they passed on the show and picked it up later.
Wow.
So they picked it up, and we just went on to do great television for 5 seasons, 115 episodes. And it's on now. It was on Netflix from 2020 till last October. Now it's airing on cable, a network called Clio TV,
Yeah.
another network called DABL. I'm not sure, but people are, you know, tagging me and say, "Oh, watching the show." So, and it being on Netflix, it really birthed a whole new generation of fans, and it was pretty amazing.
Sometimes in this life you can feel all by yourself. Check, 1, 2. But I have a partner when I can't trust no one else.
So don't isolate yourself when there's nobody around.
Oh yeah.
I'll be there for thick and thin. What a true love we have found.
Living one on one, one on one.
Can't nobody break this bond. Living one on one.
Just because
Now we have a fun. One on one, yeah.
one on one.
I love it. Thank you, Alex. What that led to a great thing.
Thank you, Alex.
In regards to that, about putting your own shows together, somebody has this desire, they have an idea, but they can only get it so far. How do you do that?
I mean, it was really a team. You know, I had my agent. It's time. I said, "Hey, I have this idea. This is what I want to do," and they kind of put the wheels in motion. Her, my manager, put the wheels in motion, and that's how. And obviously, we know that's not going to be the same for everyone, but I can only speak to the experience that I've had, which was going through my manager and my agent. Now, with the way the mediums are today, you can write, shoot your own stuff, and then go sell it, or you can write, shoot it, put it on YouTube. and like Issa Rae did for her show. It was originally called Awkward Black Girl, and then that changed. So she built up a following, and HBO, they gave her a huge deal. So it really, now I think the power is in your hands so much more now than it was back then. The old way of waiting and sitting back, that's done. Now you can be in the driver's seat.
Well, I love it. Brings me back to what you said earlier. The way you look at things is I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's the only way to look at it.
What are you most proud of?
My family.
It comes back to the family again.
Yeah. My kids, my, just because not having that, especially not having my dad, I had to learn how to be a father, a husband, everything on the fly. No example whatsoever. So watching how our children have turned out, really makes me proud. They're really good kids. Every parent says that, but I have friends who, dealing with different situations with their kids, and I'm just like, whew, I would not want to trade that. So I'm most proud of them. That is the proudest accomplishment in my life.
Yeah. Well, again, you have such a beautiful family.
Thank you.
I have about 2 more questions. I know we're coming up
Yes.
on time.
Yes. Okay. I see.
Which one would you like to?
I see. She's got King Pang.
Oh, King!
Yeah,
There she
King.
is. I love that
Yeah,
smile,
she's
King.
been going with 2 hands. I saw her.
Oh, thank you for picking me. Thank you. I'm a big fan of yours. I
Thank
watched
you.
your BBC 101 and Michael Jackson movie.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't acknowledge that you were a dancer besides being actor.
Yes, that was my first love.
I like your acknowledge about rejection. I had a polio, so it affect my physical appearance. I have like polio, so I used to do long time ago the extra. Eventually, when they found out that in the fall I had polio, I remember Grey Anatomy. It was many years ago. I told them I had a polio leg, so they told me not to come.
Wow.
It was an extra. I'm not a union either, the very low pay. And I was so bad, rejection.
Yes.
I grew up where I was from Burma. So like as a woman, 2nd class, and as a disabled, it's a 3rd class, right?
Yeah.
It was full of rejection. And right now I'm a painter. I graduated from this many years ago. And I'm
Is that your art in the background?
yeah, I'm a full business artist.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
I sell my painting. Let me know if you
okay, that's beautiful.
And thank you. And I want to ask you, these anxiety attack, I anxious because I got a lot of rejection. When I go there, how can I get the job? And how to find a job too.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna reject me. It's like a repeating in my brain because of this hadn't happened. How can I demolish right now? I got another anxiety. I want to be successful in entertainment also. I got accepted as a study the fashion design. They accepted my oldest where I graduated. But I'm still applying Charles White scholarship because I can't afford to study there. Because it's expensive, $50,000 a year.
Yes.
So I can't afford it. So I'm applying Charles White. So still I have a worry that they say, oh, only 2 people can get it, that Charles White scholarship. But they say, if I become an actress in the entertainment, I don't need to worry about these scholarship. I just go and study by myself, right? This fashion design. So things like that, I'll try to explain you, this rejection. And when you talk about it, you and your wife had to bounce back and hardship right now. So how would you, as a fine artist painter also?
I would first thank you for sharing. First, I would say that, and coming from someone who's gone through that, where I did self-sabotage. So part of that is self-sabotage. So part of that is you got to understand the universe is just a recorder. and it's only going to echo what you give it. So if you continue to say, I can't, oh my God, I'm so scared. They only said 2. That means I won't get it. That if you continue, that's what you're going to produce. So if you try to change that and say, okay, yeah, there's only 2, that means, well, there's only 1 because I'm going to get the other scholarship.
Okay.
You know, that's my scholarship. And you write it down every day you
Okay.
get up, you know, oh, I'm so excited about my scholarship. Oh, I can't wait to go to the school. I can't wait to you have to live in that expectancy, and create that emotion as it's happening. And Abraham Hicks is one of my favorite people to listen to.
Oh,
And
April.
Abraham Hicks, yes. And she talks about that. And I say this to you from experience because I've done it. So I'm not trying to be a guru but I'm saying it because I've done it, and I've had therapists tell me the same thing. I just had a session last week where you know, this therapist kind of told me this is what's going on in you. And I think that I'm like, no, I corrected that. But deep down low, that's it's that insecurity that we hold, you know, but you just gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep pushing, Zane, and you gotta know that, you know, what's for you is for you, but also you can be bold and just say that 1 scholarship is mine. That is for me. That is for me. I'm gonna sell my paintings. I'm gonna do you have to be in the I am. You have to be in the now and the present. And I promise you, you start to shift that, you will shift everything around you.
The way I think. And I see
Yes.
the Christina Applegate and Selma Blair when they become a disabled. I was like, oh my God, how I'm gonna get into the entertainment? These people,
Just think about that. Just think about that. Christina Applegate. I mean, listen to Celine Dion. They're going through things. They've all the success, all the stuff. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. It's something that we do. It's not who we are.
the health and safety is the most important for our life.
Yes.
I
Yes.
still want to be successful as
You
a
don't I no I want to be. You are successful.
thank you.
Yeah, I want only says I don't want it. So you are successful. And whether it's painting, whether it's entertainment, whether it's actress, just I am successful, and those things will come to you.
Thank you. By the way, I like your complexion. You age
Thank you, thank you.
Don't
Thank
shine and
you.
don't wrinkle.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I know.
Thank
I
you.
want to get a facial.
That is natural. Black don't crack stuff. You look at this guy.
Thank you, thank you. God
Thank you,
bless
Ken.
Thank you.
It's not on finger either.
Oh my God. I
Thank you
love
so
it.
much. Thank you.
Well, we can pick one more. Who would you like to pick?
I've been seeing. I feel so bad because I see. Let's take. I'm gonna take Max and Luke because they've both been raising
Max
their
and
hand.
Luke. Okay. Well, let's do. We'll do Max first. I mean, we could go on for another 3 hours, but I know we don't have time for that. Here's Max. Max.
Hi, Flex. It's nice to finally meet you.
You too.
I know time is precious, so I'll just ask kind of my main question. It's sort of a two-parter. It's kind of in addition to what Ken asked. So right now, I kind of work in accounting and finance, but I met David through my screenwriting professor that I took his class when I was a senior at DePaul, and that really started my interest and ambition in writing scripts and desiring to be an actor. And I know you talked about producing your own CDs and starring in movies. Again, he is how I ended up meeting David and how I ended up taking these classes. But my question is, I've already made scripts, a couple of scripts now, and I have ideas for movies and TV shows. What do I need to do to really get them out there so I can be like you, be famous, star in movies? And
Well, fame is not everything is cracked up to be. Trust me, but I would say to be able to express your art the way you want to. Like I said before, there are different ways. There are that you don't have to wait for the industry. You can do GoFundMe's, you can do crowdfunding, you can do there's different ways you can raise money to shoot your own stuff, and you don't have to wait for anybody. I always encourage artists, writers, whomever, to go that route. I mean, I'm actually right now, there's something else that I've written, my partner and I, and we are, getting the funding ourselves, and we're going to shoot it, because then you can shoot your vision the way you want to shoot your vision. You get it to a studio, you get it to a producer, it changes 25 times, and then you don't even recognize it by the time it's made. So I would say look in your list of friends or people, start there. If you have Facebook or those things, just start crowdfunding, and these are people that just donate. Like what David did with the film that my wife did. That was a passion project, and they got it done. They got it done. So I believe that that is the route to go for independent artists like ourselves, because we're all independent artists, because we're not tied to a studio, we're not tied to a company, we're independent, and we're just on to the next gig. So I would say that's a great way to go about getting your stuff done.
Thank you, Max. That was a good one, and it made me think. It made me think too of we're playing at Mann's Chinese Theater.
Yes,
The
she told
film
me.
at the end of this month on the 28th. So I don't know.
Yes.
I know you're in and out of town. I know you just got back from doing a play, right?
Yes, yeah. And I'm supposed to go do another one. I'm just waiting to hear back. I'm supposed to, the same producer is doing another one, different one. He wants me to do it. So I'm just waiting to hear back. But yes, I just got back from doing that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you said Luke will be Luke Zimmerman.
Hey, Diffix.
Hey, what's up, Luke?
Hey, I'm an actor and a dancer like you.
Okay.
I want to show you one quick thing you love. It's this jacket. It's this.
Ah, yeah.
I know you're a big fan of him.
Oh, yeah, man.
But doing that video, are you fear Simanko as a zombie or as a werewolf? What do you think about him?
Listen,
like that?
I remember watching Thriller, and when I was younger, MTV did the making of Thriller, and watching the process, seeing what he did, getting the makeup, Rick Baker doing the makeup, John Landis directing, and just, but most of all, there's a special you should watch on cable. It's called Thriller 40.
I heard that.
Thriller 40. It's the 40th anniversary. It's the 40th anniversary of Thriller, and they talk about that whole process, what Michael did, and he literally changed the way we see videos, from doing movies like he did with Thriller. It was an event. I will never forget that. We talked about when he did Billie Jean. We talked about Thriller, when the zombies were dancing and they were in the street, and I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. That jacket is iconic.
We saw that in Griffith Park, the bikini, in the downtown area in LA. They're doing that different locations in those different scenes.
I think they did something. They had a big Thriller dance for the 40th anniversary. I forget where it was.
In at Griffith Park, walking the park, I scared the girl. I said, "Oh my God, the girl!"
Well,
if also you and me would do the Michael Jackson dance together one time.
I'll be ready.
Yeah,
let's do it.
And Luke, Luke, who was on a TV show for 5 years.
Yes.
Wow, awesome, man. You got a great name, like Bo and Luke Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard.
There you go.
And he has a great last name too.
What is it?
Zimmerman.
Yeah, man. Awesome. That's
We're
right.
like
And
cousins.
working with Dave is awesome. He's a great guy to work
He
with.
is. He is.
But
Man.
I watched one of his movies one time called Me the Focus. And I did not saw him, but really I know he's in that profile. But he's a great guy, a good actor.
Yeah. Yes, he is, man.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
Yes, my 10 seconds of Fokker fame. Final question today. What do you want the most at this moment in your life?
Peace and happiness, man. I'm so simple. I just want peace, happy. I think like everyone else, you want to be able to take care of your family, not have to worry about stuff.
Yeah.
And just peace, man. And just be happy. That's it. And some good food.
And some good food.
Yes.
Well, please send love to your beautiful Shanice and your
I will.
Your son, your daughter, and your Crystal and Penny and the whole clan.
Definitely, I will, man. Thank you so much. This was awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, and everybody. We're gonna take one big screenshot here, picture. I'm gonna remove spotlights, and on the count of 3, what are we gonna say, Flex?
We're gonna say 1, 2, 3, peace.
I like that. 1, 2, 3, peace.
Hand me down the walking cane, hand me down my hat. Hurry now and don't be late, 'cause we ain't got time to chat. You and me, we're going out to catch the latest sounds. Guaranteed to blow your mind so high you won't come down. Hey, y'all, prepare yourself for the rubber band. Man, you've never heard a sound like the rubber band. Man, you're bound to lose control when the rubber band starts to jam. Oh, this dude is out of sight. Everything he does seems to come out right. Once I went to hear them play at a club outside of town. I was so surprised, I was hypnotized by the sound these cats put down. When I saw this short fat guy stretch a band between his toes, hey, I laughed so hard 'cause the band got down when it finally reached his nose. Hey, y'all, prepare yourself for the rubber band. Man, you never heard a sound like the rubber band. Man, you're bound to lose control when the rubber band starts to jam. Got that rubber band up on his toe, and then he wriggled it up all around his nose. Guaranteed to blow your mind. Playing all that music, yeah, keeping time. Where in the world did he learn that? Oh, Lord. Well, I have to get away. Prepare yourself for the rubber band. Man, you've never heard a sound like a rubber band. Whoa, you've got to lose control. Starts to jam. Rubber band, man, rubber band, man. How much of this stuff do we think we can stand? So much rhythm, grace, and debonair for one man? No. And then he had the nerve to twiddle his left toe, but through his knee, got the feeling in his head, y'all. Oh, come on, baby. Won't you cry yourself, dear me?
Thank you, Flex.
All right. Thank you, man, so much.
you.
Take care. All right. Love you, man. Take care.